Welcome back to another cybersecurity video. A couple of months ago, I got submitted for a role for a consultancy to work in the Midlands in the UK. The agency contacted me to submit me for the role. They did. They contacted me for the IAM lead BA / project manager role. And then another agency contacted me about 2 weeks after that for an IAM architect role. Both agencies, different type of roles. I got rejected from both of them from the consultancy, and then the consultancy called me up a couple of weeks ago. Both of those roles were roughly in about February, March time that I got submitted. They both rejected me within 48 hours. Well, one of them was within 3 days, and the other one was within about a week. And then a couple of weeks ago, the consultancy actually contacted me directly. Obviously, they had the details from the agency, this, that, the other. They found my name. Obviously, they'll find my name on LinkedIn, this, that, the other, because when they submit me, they leave my name, just my name on the CV and take off my contact details. Usually is what recruiters do. So the agents, the consultancy actually found my details over on LinkedIn and requested me to interview for. They've merged both the roles into one single role, just as a lead operation manager. So upon looking at both the specs, I recognised every single detail of that specification. It relates to the role in East Midlands. Obviously, I can't name the location, I can't name the consultancy, nor can I name the agencies. Because I've spoken to both the agencies and basically informing them that I'll be doing something like this, and they both told me they don't want their names to be tarnished. They're not tarnished, they don't want their names to be listed in my videos. So I've respectfully just said, okay, fine, I'm not going to put the agency's name in or the consultancy, because it's just going to tarnish my name and I don't want that. So they interviewed me. The interview was meant to start roughly around 1:30 in the afternoon. It was one of the Fridays a couple of weeks ago. The interview was meant to start at 1:30. Upon attending the interview, I was told by one of the SOC teams and HR guys, says the other interview is running late, and do you mind waiting? So I waited. I ended up waiting another half an hour before the interview started. Upon having the interview, such a bad interview, so I looked up the guy afterwards. The guy who was interviewing me only had 2 years experience within identity access management, and interviewing me with well over 13-14 years experience within cybersecurity. This just gives a bad light on what's happening in the UK. A lot of people are getting put to interview candidates like myself as freelance contractors to basically interview us, and the person who's interviewing has only got a couple of years experience. We could basically pull a wool over their eyes. This is just really bad way of interviewing. Usually what used to happen was a senior guy, someone with similar amount of experience as myself, would interview me, would ask me the relevant questions, and questions not like, do you understand what role-based access control is? That's just a yes or no answer. You have to sit there, explain. There's been no explanation to what the role is, what the role's about, what you're getting tasked to do. The job spec is like a shopping list, basically what they want, and they just want someone who is just a guru in everything. You're not going to get that, not in this day and age. They're being very, very, very optimistic with what they want to hear. To be honest, you just have to be very, very truthful in an interview. You just have to tell them what it is, tell them how it is, and just don't give a fuck, really. Basically, is my method now. Is I don't really give a fuck about these clients. I'll say it how it is, and if it hurts them, oh well. I really don't care. A lot of people have messed me around. A lot of agencies and consultancies have messed me around way too much for me to now give a fuck. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot, but I've got to a point where I just don't care. But going forward, in any sort of interview capacity, I answer that question and I don't ask anymore. To be honest, I have got to that point in my life that I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing, and I don't even get feedback after an interview. And it takes, sometimes it'll take 3 months later that they'll all say, oh, this is what your feedback is. That's just not good enough. In my eyes, that's not good enough. That's just very, very poor recruitment, poor acknowledgement that the candidate has gone out of his way, spend so many days prepping for the interview, prepping for the types of questions that would crop up, and just spending that time, that half an hour to an hour or hour and a half for an interview. Most of my interviews they say half an hour, but it lasts about 45 minutes to an hour. It always does. There's only been one time where an interview has lasted 7 minutes because a recruiter has lied to me about the job spec. For example, they put me forward for a SAP engineering role when the title on the spec, what they gave me, was just identity access management, and I don't know how I got an interview. It lasted 7.5 minutes, and I basically got really annoyed and got really peed off with the recruitment agency, and I just started shutting up. I just had a massive go at them and told them never to fucking call me again for any sort of role, no matter if they have no skill set. But going forward, all the questions that this guy asked me was, do you know what identity access management is? Yes, I do. That's generally what a lot of people would say, but you have to go into detail. Even if it's a closed question or even if it's an open question, go into detail. Provide examples where you've used it, what you have done, and how you have done it. That's the kind of advice I'm giving everyone. So please follow, like, share my videos, but also just bear in mind that the UK market is not how it used to be. Like, I can tell you, like 2013, I'll put this into another video, but I'll give you one prime example. 2013, I could walk into an interview and I could get a feeling that, yeah, I've got the job. Even 2010, 2011, where there was a crisis in the UK, it was a very, very bad market, but this is the worst market we've been in. There's going to be a part 2 on this because I need to expand a lot on a lot of points that I've addressed here. Stay tuned. Part 2 is coming. I'll try and get something out tomorrow at some point. Probably going to be around tomorrow morning. But stay tuned. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.